Tanya.
Hi, Tara.
Thanks for coming to chat with us today.
No problem.
I just want to introduce Tanya to anyone who doesn't know her. For those of you who don't know Tanya, she is the editor of ESL Library, as well as the director of Sprout English. And she does editing for Red River Press, which develops both of these sites, as well as apps for English learners. And so this means that Tanya has a lot of text to edit. She edits our blogs, our newsletters, all of our marketing material, and our lesson plans. And one thing that she blogged about recently that I thought was really interesting was our style guide. So I wanted to talk to Tanya today about the style guide. Can you tell us a little about how the style guide helps you do your job?
Yeah, sure. Basically, every editor needs a style guide for consistency. So, especially on a site like Red River Press with a lot of material, we need to keep everything consistent across all our lessons. So I need to make decisions about things like when to use the serial comma and when to capitalize words and titles, American versus British spelling, things like that. So once
Awesome.
I decide something, I record it on a style guide so that I can refer to it and remember all my decisions and keep everything consistent.
Oh, that's great. And we get a lot of feedback from teachers about our lesson plans and how they like how they're formatted consistently. It's really important when you're teaching English learners.
So important, yeah.
Yeah, and we just recently finished our American Presidents section, which is 43 ready-made lesson plans. Referring to the style guide was really helpful with this section. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, this section is a good example of why style guide is so important because it was a big section with so many lessons. So I had to look up a lot of things I was unfamiliar with, actually. I use a reference guide called the Chicago Manual of Style. It's a really common reference guide for editors. And I had to look up how to capitalize different wars and acts and treaties, a lot of American political stuff that I wasn't familiar being a Canadian. So, for example, one of the first things I had to look up was when to capitalize the word president. So I learned that you capitalize it when it comes before the name, like President Obama would have a capital P, but not in other situations where it's not preceding the name. So, for example, if you said Obama is the president, you wouldn't capitalize the P there.
It's been really helpful to have that on the blog as well because we can go back and forth and ask each other questions and respond.
Yep.
And how did you decide on the Chicago Manual of Style for Red River Press?
Yeah, well, that was an easy decision because when I was studying to become an editor, all my professors were telling me that that's kind of the editor's main tool. It's the most common reference guide that editors use, and it is American. A lot of our audience is American, so it's helpful for our market to use an American style guide. There are others, though. There's, for example, the AP, the American Press, or the CP, the Canadian Press. And unfortunately, they don't always agree. For
Okay.
example, the AP and CP don't use the serial comma, but the Chicago recommends it. I mean, some things are just style decisions, and you just have to pick away and stick to it as long as you're consistent. That's the main thing. So,
Right. And it's
but
so
yeah.
helpful for me as a writer, and I know for you as an editor as well, that we have one thing that we can always refer to. Why is
Yeah.
it helpful for our subscribers, do you think? We've decided to publish it online so that our subscribers can have access to it.
There's just a lot of things that, like I said, aren't really taught in schools, and also just things that, for example, song titles. Maybe people aren't familiar, like, how should I write a song title? Should I use quotation marks? Should I use italics? What should I do? And so we have different sections. For example, if you look under titles, you'll see how to format the titles for movies, books, and songs and things like that. Song titles should be enclosed in double quotation marks, and album names should be italicized. That's just the common style choices that most people use, but not all of us are familiar with that. So it's good to have a style guide on top of just normal grammar and punctuation and spelling questions. So
Awesome.
lots of useful stuff on there. So
It's so handy. I can't believe that we used to work without it. So I'm really,
Yeah.
really thankful that we have it.
Yeah, me too. I use it all the time. It's good. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to come and chat with me today about this.
Yeah, of course.
We have a
It's fun.
busy month ahead. I know you're editing our new lesson section, Everyday Idioms 3,
Yeah.
which I'm
that's
really
right.
excited about. And I'm going to be seeing you in a few weeks when we head to TESOL 14 in Portland. So I can't
Yeah,
wait to see
that's
you
gonna be
again.
fun. Can't wait.
All right. Thanks again. We'll see you
Okay,
later.
thanks, Tara. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.